Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Hoffman. I'm the CEO of GSME Limited, and it is my great honor to join you today and welcome you to the China-U.S. Innovation, Investment, and Collaboration Summit. At our first Mobile World Congress Americas, I would also like to give a big thanks to ZTE, our headline sponsor, and to China Unicom Americas as our SIM card giveaway sponsor at this year's event. For those of you that are not familiar with the GSMA, we represent the worldwide mobile industry, bringing together over 800 mobile operators and more than 300 other companies across our ecosystem. As we all know, mobile has become an integral part of our everyday life, bringing billions and billions of people together around the world, all the while transforming how we work, live, and most importantly, play. In fact, there are more than 5 billion unique mobile users around the world now using our services. This is a tremendous achievement for an industry that is just a few decades old. Mobile is also making significant contributions to the world economies. In 2016, mobile generated $3 trillion in economic value, equivalent of 4.4% of the world's GDP. China and the United States have both played an important and very significant part in the success of the mobile industry, and in many ways is leading the future innovation of our technology trends. China is home to the world's largest mobile market, and they're taking a leading role in the development of 5G. The United States is a pioneer in technology development and also one of the largest mobile communications markets in the world. Both countries lay claim to a good foundation for a prosperous, digital, and sharing economy. In today's globalized world, there is enormous space for China and the United States to collaborate on innovation, and there are unmet needs for companies and investors from both countries, as well as other parts of our world, to get to know each other better and to form long-lasting, successful, mutually beneficial partnerships. Today's program will explore a range of topics including 5G, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and of course, how we make money. We'll also discuss how the two countries' technologies will evolve through joint collaboration. I would like to thank all of our distinguished guests, speakers, and participants here today. I hope that you have a successful and enjoyable experience, not only at this summit, but at the Mobile World Congress Americas. I look forward to seeing you in Barcelona in February, and then next July at Mobile World Congress in Shanghai. Welcome. Thank you.
John, thank you. Your Chinese is excellent. Good morning, everybody. My name is Karl. I work for ARM. I promote embedded SIM. I wanted to just mention I'll be the chair and moderator for this session. OK， 女士们、先生们，欢迎参加今天的论坛啊！这是中美那个创新合作投资跟合作的那个论坛，欢迎参加这种那个论坛今天，谢谢各位。Good morning, everybody. We'll be talking about China-U.S. investment, innovation, and collaboration, because it's really all about collaboration. I wanted to share a few stories, and I never stick to the mic, so okay, that's just the way it is. Yesterday, what happened? We had an announcement that Apple introduced its new line of smartphones and also smartwatch. What's very significant about that? The manufacturing takes place in China. Many of the components are coming from China and Greater China, okay? So it's really important and significant to understand that as Americans, we need to understand China much better than we do now. I've spent 30 years, 15 of those years in Greater China, living and working, on the other 15 years from Seattle, yeah, Latte Land. exporting and selling mobile technologies to Asia and specifically Greater China. This is the most important relationship in the wireless industry that we have today. It's very, very significant. But I call upon you Americans to follow in some of the footsteps of others in understanding how to sell to China, understanding and how to work with Chinese companies willing to invest in North America. And yes, they're coming here, and yes, they want to invest. Why do they want to invest? Because we are still the leading market. But China's a huge market for mobile devices. It's absolutely true. And there's innovation and creativity going on in China to cooperate with the innovation going on in Silicon Valley. So what's very, very important is to understand some of those trends. Now, the Chinese didn't invent chat apps, but WeChat is a fabulous product. If you've never used it, I recommend you try it. It's a great product. Well, let's talk about rental bikes. Rental bikes, Mobile, Ofo. There are 30 different rental bike companies in China. And guess what? They're coming to the United States with this technology, this rental bike locking technology for the back wheel. This is very, very cool. These are just some of the examples of Chinese taking existing technology and tweaking it for the improvement of the wireless industry. This is all about the wireless industry here. Most of you, I think, are wireless executives, and you want to see the next generation of wireless technologies proliferate. This is great. I believe it can happen with America and China cooperating on the technology phase of this growth phase that we have from 4G, right? Narrowband IoT leading up to 5G. So that's what it's all about. Now, I have been involved in the Greater China trade for approximately 30 years. I think it's fantastic what we see going on between the cooperation between the United States and China. I'd like to see more of it. We need more of it. And we need Americans. I believe the Chinese people understand America. I think we need Americans to understand more about how business works in China. At least it's an interesting thing to note. I work on this every single day. Okay, so let's talk about today's session. We have two keynotes. The first keynote will be China-U.S. Telecom 5G development and collaboration. We'll have Mr. Bill Hague, Executive VP for Global Connection Management at AT&T Mobility. So he's the wireless part of AT&T. He'll speak. And we also have Mr. Han Zhigang. He's the VP of China Unicom. Is that correct? China Unicom is the 5th largest MNO wireless operator in the world. Is that right? 5? Number 5. That's pretty big. The second keynote we'll have today is collaboration through innovation, 创新. And that will be Mr. Zheng Lixin, the CEO of ZTE Mobile Devices, who I just had the pleasure of meeting. You know, ZTE is very savvy. They have lots of mobile technologies. Their handset business is in Bibalu, is that right, in Shanghai? Is that the handset team? Cool, very, very cool. So a few other things I wanted to mention. So this will go from 11:15, about 11:15 until 12 p.m. Okay, and then we'll have a break. You have to replenish your body. We'll have a lunch break. Lunchtime is from 12 to 1. And then we'll have an ending cocktail later on in the afternoon. Now, in the afternoon, we'll have 3 more sessions from 1 p.m. until 3:15 p.m. And after 3:15 p.m., we'll have the cocktail. So from 3:15 to the end, I think it's 4:15, we'll have an hour cocktail. So that's basically the full structure of today's event. So without further ado, let's see, how am I doing for time? Let's see. Oh, I've got a minute or 2 more. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll go earlier. I'd like to call up Mr. Bill Hague to the podium, please. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
I do have to ask the Chinese members in the audience, could you understand him when he was speaking Chinese? Yeah, was he pretty good? A lot better than me. I can say ni hao, xie xie, So, Sheshe, thanks for welcoming me here today. I'm going to talk a little bit about 5G and a little bit about cooperation between our company, AT&T, and various companies in China. Take the opportunity to do that. As I go into it, when we showed that video, I did want to take a minute though and say, you saw some things up there about the Sustainable Development Goals that GSMA is working on with the UN. And wireless has really changed the world and lives, and I don't think we get enough credit for it. So I think working on these Sustainable Development Goals will help with that. I mean, I personally have a friend, a good friend. I'm from Seattle too, by the way, Karl. I live in Dallas now. See cowboy boots. If anyone doubts, I just pull that up and show them. But who was skiing a little bit of backcountry on a ski resort up there by Seattle. At the end of the day, went off piste, got actually buried in an avalanche, and he could only move his arm enough to reach his cell phone, and he made a call and was rescued. So, and you can take that kind of event and multiply it by millions and millions, and then start adding to how it reduces the use of water and agriculture with greater plants. I mean, just the things are endless, and we need to do a better job of promoting that, and the GSMA really helps. I think China and the United States can help lead that, because we both have opportunities to reduce poverty and improve commerce. Our two countries can and should work well together. If you look in the wireless world, we in the United States are very envious of China Mobile and your two competitors, China Telecom and or China Unicom, and China, your competitors, China Mobile and China Telecom, in just the volume and the size you have. You have, you know, hundreds of thousands, millions of cell sites, and close to 1 billion customers, and numbers like that. You can, each month you sort of add how many customers we have on. I think on our side we have, the world's a bit jealous of, we've got very high ARPUs and able to sell into very high-end businesses. So those two things working together, there's a lot of room for collaboration there. If I could, so I'll take you through a little bit on 5G. I have to tell you, I personally was lobbying for it's kind of time to switch to H. Like we ought to go to 1H or maybe 3Q. I'm sort of done with Gs. I didn't win this time. Maybe when we go to 6G, we'll skip it and go to 1Q. I mean, G just stands for generation, so what does that mean? But we look at it, we tend to look at it as networks. And if you look at
Mandarin, is that correct? In Mandarin? Okay, fantastic. So, Mr. Han, would you please come up? Thank you very much. Han副总，非常感谢你提供的这个演讲。最后的那个 slide 蛮有兴趣，看那个1cent，哇，顶呱呱。OK， 各位，我可以提供很多幽默的主题。Okay, the last session, okay, will be from Mr. Zheng Lixing. He's the CEO for ZTE Mobile Devices, and he's going to talk about collaboration to innovation. Now, actually, ZTE sells a lot of products now in the United States. I think T-Mobile is one of the major vendors for them. I think they work with all operators, but they've really been very successful from my observations of watching. They're probably one of the most successful Chinese smartphone vendors in North America. So, welcome up. Mr. Zheng, please come up. Tell us how you've been so successful.